cyberspace is important for protecting data and services from malicious attacks and for upholding the dignity of everyone with access to cyberspace. Today, we are fortunate to have our most esteemed speaker, Dr. Ram Kumar ji, with us, who will be leading an insightful discussion on cybersecurity best practices. Before starting, we have a few general instructions for everyone. You are requested to keep your cameras on and mic muted during the lecture. For any doubts or queries in between, please drop them in the chat box and they will be addressed during the question answer session. I'm thrilled to welcome our esteemed speaker for today, Mr. Ram Kumar ji, respected dignitaries, and all attendees to this interactive webinar. This session is part of our series of diverse guest lectures covering critical aspects of cybersecurity. Over to you, Sneha.
Thank you. Let me
Good.
share my screen. Give me a second.
So we just have a few pointers to discuss, and after that you can continue with the lecture.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Before we begin, I would like to introduce you to Forensic Fusion and Y-Crime. Y-Crime, founded by Mr. Sakil Hassan, is a specialized crime news media house offering internships for forensic and law students. It provides hands-on training, case FIRs, RTIs, and in-depth case studies. The Y-Crime app, available on the Google Play Store, covers categories like forensic, cybercrime, drug crime, and other daily crime news. The organization collaborates with renowned crime journalists from India Today and Aaj Tak and regularly hosts webinars. Currently, it is collaborating with Invisira Forensics and forensic psychologist Ms. Krupa Nisarg on an exciting project.
Forensic Fusion, founded by Mr. Bhattacharya, is a platform where curiosity meets expertise and knowledge breaks all boundaries. It is redefining forensic science education by making it accessible to everyone, from budding enthusiasts to seasoned professionals. Through cutting edge content, immersive learning experiences, and expert guidance, Forensic Fusion is democratizing forensic education and making complex forensic concepts easy to grasp. Now, I'd like Sneha to introduce our esteemed speaker for the day.
It is an honor to introduce our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Ram Kumar Ji, a seasoned professional in the field of cybersecurity and risk management, over 23 years of experience spanning various multinational corporations. His expertise extends across critical domains such as information security, corporate security, data privacy, and business continuity. Dr. Kumar has played a pivotal role in building integrated security and programs across various sectors, including BFSI, IT, ITES, media and entertainment, healthcare, and automotive. Dr. Kumar holds an impressive era of academic qualification, including a PhD in information security, an MBA, and a master's in computer application. His commitment to lifelong learning is further exemplified by his pursuit of advanced programs in cloud computing and business leadership. He is also certified in several prestigious professional credentials like CISM, CRISC, PMP, and ISO 27001 lead auditor, among others. Beyond his corporate achievements, Dr. Kumar is a passionate educator and mentor. He has served as a visiting faculty member and industry mentor at esteemed institutions like Reva University, Wellinger Institute of Management, and Marwadi University, among others. His contribution to academia and the cybersecurity community has been widely recognized through numerous awards, such as the Cybersecurity Leadership Excellence Award 2024 and the CISO Top 100 Influencer Award for 3 consecutive years. Dr. Kumar is also a thought leader and frequently recognized as a global influencer in cybersecurity and risk management by platforms like LinkedIn and Thinkers 360. Additionally, he has a published author of Cybercrimes, a primer on internet threats and email abuses, showcasing his commitment to knowledge and dissemination. We are privileged to have him here to share his insights and expertise with us today. Please join me in welcoming Sir to our webinar. Please, Sir, you can start now.
Thank you so much, Neha, for the wonderful introduction. Very much thankful to Swapnil and the team for having me here. It's really, really nice to see on a Saturday morning, 80 plus folks have joined this session. It shows their commitment to learn. That is something I appreciate because you have a choice to do other things on a Saturday morning, but you're here. And I understand that you're predominantly into um, digital forensics, but this talk is more on the generic cybersecurity best practices mapped to different domains in cybersecurity. So please have an open mind and be with me patiently during my session. Can you guys confirm if you can see my slides,
Yes,
my
sir.
screen?
It's clear to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Awesome, awesome.
Excellent.
Okay, folks who are not speaking, who are not the moderators, please go on mute so we have a undivided attention to this session. Okay, so let me skip these. I think Sneha has already given a good introduction. And one quick disclaimer, whatever I speak here is purely my personal views and does not reflect my employers. Okay, and currently I work for Volvo Group, though since I do not have authorization to speak on their behalf, I come in my personal capacity. Clear? So today's agenda is primarily on the different aspects of best practices that we all can follow in implementing cybersecurity in any organization, right? So anyone can identify what car is this? Yeah, no auto enthusiasts in this group, no petrol heads. This is Nissan GTR, one of the iconic models from the Nissan group. I was part of Nissan Motor Corporation earlier, so it's kind of affinity towards this car. So on a serious note, security is like the brakes on your car, right? A function is to slow you down, but their purpose is to go, allow you go fast because nobody likes in real world security, right? I mean, if you are asked to step aside for a detailed checking in the airport, you get annoyed. When there is a standard security procedure, we accept it grudgingly. But if the security person in the airport asks you to step aside, we don't like it, right? So security function actually helps a lot in, say, for example, in application security. Even though developers don't like adding layers of security controls, but at the end of the day, if the application is very secure, it inspires confidence for going ahead because the back of your mind, you are very secure. So that's the analogy I would give between car brakes and security, right? And very quickly, you know how things are changing today. 20 years back, my parents used to say, don't get into strangers' cars, don't meet people from the internet. But today, we literally call people from the internet to get into our cars, right? So you have apps like Quick Ride in major metros where we carpool and go together to a place, right? By just using the app. So that's how things have evolved today. And a matter of 20 years, the technology scene has gone through a sea change. So today security is all pervasive, so across all domains. We are looking at cyber resilience as a concept, right? How business can be resilient in the face of a disruption or a disaster. Then we have law that is catching up a lot on governing technology and security. World over, there has been awareness and activism on protecting consumer rights. So that's why you see everywhere data privacy laws. Even in India, we have the DPDP Act, which is yet to be operationalized. So for the data privacy, the basis is cybersecurity, based on how strong your security controls and processes are on which you can build your data privacy. And you know pretty well the cybercrime scenario. It's very, very sophisticated and evolving, right? So I don't have to talk much about it. Today, it's not just about Internet of Things, IoT, it's about security of things. Everything is having security aspect, right? Right from your Fitbit watches that we wear till the cars that we drive, connected era, it is connected car era. So it's very, today's cars are literally data center on wheels, because the kind of data they collect on the driving dynamics, it gives you a drive score. All modern cars give you a driving app, right? The app tells you the score, which place to which place you went, the GPS coordinates, what was your driving speed, did you drive rashly or sedately. All the data is available for the OEMs, and they are going to anyway analyze that and give more customized services. They also monetize without our consent as consumers, right? So imagine if cars are hacked. One side is they collect data from us for giving customized services. Like in the Western world, if you are a car owner, you want to renew your insurance, you get customized price code for based on your drive scores, right? On the other side, you have the bad guys, the hackers who can hack into cars and they can take over the car. It's a very scary scenario, right? You can Google for any brand name, and just say car hacking. You get a lot of examples, proof of concepts, right? And today, cyber war is again in thing today. It is not stuff of science fiction. 25 years back, if I had spoken about cyber war, you would say it's a science fiction stuff. But today, especially after the Russian-Ukraine war and recently the Hamas war by Israel, the cyber attacks are becoming more common. So today, first they down your critical infrastructure of a nation before they actually carbon bomb literally the physical infrastructure. So that's how sophisticated it has become. Now, privacy I already spoke about, right? So cybersecurity must be at the core of all our, hyper-connected society today. I think I already spoke about many of these aspects, so it's become all the more critical. At the end of the day, security is part of everything we do. Whether you assess the risk, you protect the business and operate the business. For this, the cornerstone is cybersecurity. Yeah. And the basics of information security. Cyber is a term that came after the emergence of cyberspace. That is the internet. Before that, it was called information security because the core is protecting data. So we have this triad called CIA. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, and the supporting infrastructure. That is the basic tenets of information security, right? And the change attacker profiles also has been changing over the years. So initially in the 70s, it was called these are recreational for fun. College students used to introduce some viruses or get into someone's network unauthorized. Just did it for fun and bragging rights, right? Then it became cyber vandalism, especially on defacing websites. That became criminal activity. Then hacktivism evolved. Hacking plus activism is called hacktivist or hacktivism. The people who indulge are called hacktivists. They claim that it is for a noble cause, but whatever may be the intent, it is actually illegal, right? So many of the environment conscious groups, right, NGOs, they indulge in this. They may hack into some website or cause some DDoS attacks on a, say, big oil company and say that you're polluting the environment. And because of that, we are annoyed to grab attention of the world. We are hacking into your website and they may post some messages, okay, promoting their cause. So that is called hacktivism. It is illegal in any case. Organized crime, it is like all our local crime groups, underground crime groups gone online. They are organized into a hierarchical format, and they have specialists, and then they target and attack multinational corporations, right? And today, the targets are not just big companies, even unknown small companies. It doesn't matter how big brand you are, or how anonymous you are. You may just run a supermarket or a small grocery store. As long as there is a vulnerability existing in your systems, they're going to exploit that. Even if you say, I don't have any critical sensitive data, still they may use your systems as a launch pad, a kind of a CNC center, right? Command and control launch pad for their further attacks. So in case there is a law and order, people come and trace you, or the police come and trace, it will land up at your doorstep. You may say, I don't know anything, but your systems are vulnerable and they're made use by these criminals, right? So that's why you cannot discount that. I do not have any sensitive data or confidential data, so I don't have to invest in security. That is going to be a costly mistake, because criminals can take advantage of your loopholes. The ultimate is your state-sponsored APT gangs or APT groups, advanced persistent threat groups, and these groups are very, very lethal, very sophisticated, very novel in their tactics, very persistent. They'll just not go away, and they have access to unlimited resources in terms of skill sets and money, and they are supported by nation states. So Western media likes to portray the axis of evil four countries. One is Russia, second is Iran, third is North Korea, fourth is China, as if the Western world is holy saints. Right? Everyone has their own hacker army or cyber army, but APT gangs are notorious because they have access to unlimited resources, and that gives them huge advantage, right? So if they target an organization, there's no way you can escape, right? No matter how big you are, how branded you are, how reputed you are, right? Look at Marriott hotels, how many times they were hacked in the last 10 years. To my knowledge, at least 4 times, right? So you don't go to a five-star hotel to get your access, your data actually breached, right? In good faith, you give your credit card information for paying your credit card, paying your bills in the hotel, and then that data is actually hacked by hackers because the hotel didn't invest in good security best practices or controls, right? So that's where today the scenario is. And very quickly, the pillars of cybersecurity is all the three: people, process, technology. But unfortunately, there is a fallacy prevailing that it's all about cybersecurity is all about technology. No, technology is just one part. If you want to have a holistic and a well-balanced security program, you have to take care of process aspects and the people aspects, right? You should have supporting process and empower people and have the right set of skill sets, technical skill sets to manage your security program. You cannot say that I will be only focused on technology. If you rely too much on technology, I would quote Bruce Schneier. You must have heard about Bruce Schneier, father of cryptography. He said, if you think cybersecurity is about technology, you don't understand technology, nor you don't understand security, right? So people aspect is also very important. And today, compliance landscape is evolving. It's getting all the more complex. You have all these kind of compliance requirements depending on the industry sector you operate in. You have privacy related compliances like the GDPR, CCPA, right? And in India also you have the DPDP Act waiting in the wings to get operationalized. So it's only getting more complex, and it's a mandate. You cannot escape. You cannot shrug it off saying cybersecurity is an afterthought. Has to be built on into your business model rather than bolted on later, right? So whether you develop applications, whether you set up your infrastructure, whether you're having customer data, everything needs a proper security governance around it, right? I think this is what I said, right, from Bruce Schneier. And there is always a trade-off, right? So what you see in the right side, this is how we design our systems, but end of the day, the end users always look for ease of use, right? So user experience trumps your design. You may design this way, but everyone wants to use a shortcut, right? So in the left side, you see this triangle, security, ease of use, and functionality. Any product, any application you take, there is always a trade-off between either the application is fully functional and easy to use, but security is not good, or the other two, but ease of use is not good, right? So you guys can understand. So striking a very fine balance between these three is very, very important, right? Are we looking for technology risks in the right place, right? So today we do have a lot of tools, a lot of awareness, but are you focusing in the right place, right? So that's a moot question. You can see this picture, the guy is looking elsewhere, but there is a line lurking behind, right? And are we taking half-hearted efforts? We invest something in security, but we do not see it through fully, right? Because of change in your focus, your outlook, your business goals, or people change, the leadership changes, and then the old initiatives, nobody is there to fulfill, right? So you see here, the gate is only, it's hardly blocking anything. Anybody can go, right? So if you spend more on coffee than on IT security, you'll be hacked. What's more, you deserve to be hacked. Here's a quick backstory. I worked for a European multinational banking organization many years ago, and our entire information security team was made up of two senior managers. One is me and one of my colleagues. So we both were the security managers handling. He was handling the security operations. I was handling the projects. So anyway, the SOC and the technical aspects were run by the IT team, and we had a huge backend team comprising L1, L2, and LS, who are more of analytical work, and they used to support us. So for the we were the ones who were front ending. We two of us, we two senior managers, and when we came across this particular quotation, we quickly did the math, and that office had about 4,500 employees, and they were spread across 8 floors and 80 PM, right, in Bangalore. So when we did the math, how many coffee machines are there? What is the consumption? What is the milk consumption, sugar consumption, coffee powder, tea powder? Everything we added for the 8 floors, and we were really shocked. Actually, the amount they spend on coffee is actually more than both our salaries, right? Thankfully, they didn't get hacked, but that's just a metaphor, analogy for how things are happening in real world, right? Unless there is a strong customer requirement or a regulatory requirement, legal or standards that they follow in a compliance-driven environment, security is always given a short shift. Okay. So ground realities today, all these constraints that we have all this, uh, realistic stuff that is happening, and that makes it all the more important in investing in security. So threat don't disappear just because you don't have the budget or approval or resources to deploy solutions. So what you see in the right side is the excuses that we all give in corporate environment. This is not part of my roadmap. We do not have the budget. This is not something my department should do, right? This is we will do next year. All these excuses are actually an advantage for hackers. And just because the cat closes its eyes shut, right? It shuts its eyes very tightly. The threats are not going to disappear. The world is not going to disappear. The risks are anyway going to come and play out, and it will be big disaster for the organization if you're not proactively managing the risks. Right? You guys are with me so far, right? So we have a concept called crown jewels in organization. Crown jewels is nothing but the most valuable and sensitive assets within the organization. These could be critical data, systems, processes that, if compromised, could cause significant harm to the organization. Right? So quick examples of crown jewels could be your IP, your financial records, your master blueprint, your R&D plans, right? Research and development documents, your critical infrastructure, customer data, and so on, so forth. Right. So securing your credentials is always about you need to understand where they are. In a large organization, multinational, let's say 50 years, 60 years legacy, it's very difficult to even identify where they are. Right, in some server in some country, it will be lying, and people may not even know. So first thing you should know, if you are trying to protect something, you should know what you are protecting. Right. So you should discover where these data is, and are they hardened in the sense are security controls applied so that it's very secure, it's protected well, and do you monitor and protect the data, do you have systems to keep an eye, and finally is it a continuous process, right? So that's a process that we all follow. That's a best practice. It's a very simple concept, but to implement this, it's very I need to spend a lot of time, effort, and money, right? And it's all about 360-degree view of security, right? Today you see all these domains from advanced threat protection to network security, data security, infra security, app security, mobile security, and finally risk governance, risk, and compliance, right? All of them need to be in place for having a holistic and a well balanced security program, right? Because you do not have money on spending, for example, on application security, you're spending on other areas, then this is going to be a loophole, right? Imagine a very popular food aggregator app like Swiggy or Zomato. If you all use those apps, right, for ordering food, and imagine if the app is not secure or not available, you try to access the app to order food and the app is not available. You will not say, I'm a very loyal customer, I've been using, so I'll wait for another 10 minutes, 15 minutes and order again, right? If app A is not available, you go for the app B, right? The brands don't matter much because you're hungry, you want to get the food as quickly as possible. So that's the question of availability. Is the application available when on demand customer is demanding, right? If excuse me, if availability is an issue, then there is a problem with your security. Second aspect, same analogy. You're trying to order app, you give your UPI details or your credit card details, and one bad morning you come to get to see in news that the app has been hacked and data has been breached. You feel good about it. So that is another issue. The third issue is your availability. Again, the first point, if the site is down, the app is down due to malicious activities like hacking or DDoS attack, it is going to impact the revenue of the organization, right? The food aggregator will lose money, will lose revenue, even if it is down for 5 minutes. You know how much money they lose, right? So even they cannot afford to have a 5 minute downtime. So that means they have to invest very cleverly, very judiciously on having a resilient program so that their business runs in spite of disruptions and disasters, right? That means their business continuity planning and DR planning, disaster recovery planning, has to be top notch. Their RTO and RPO has to be very, very, minimal. Matter of seconds, they should be able to recover, right? You guys agree with me? Imagine you are the CEO of a food aggregator. Can you afford to have a downtime of 5 minutes? 5 minutes peak time, lunch hour, 1 o'clock or 12:30. Can you afford? It lose money, right? And reputation. And today, people, moment if Microsoft is down, you see the chatter in Twitter and other sites. People will quickly question, "Oh, today my MS Teams is not working, WhatsApp is not working, is it down?" It leads to a lot of unnecessary attention, and reputation is tarnished, right? So I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with this diagram. This talks about big picture of all the domains within cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is not just about ethical hacking and pen testing. You have a lot more specialities that you can specialize in. You are already training yourself to become digital forensics experts. But beyond these three, four domains, you have multiple areas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map the best practices to each of this so that we have a structured understanding of each of them, right? So the very first thing is your application security, right? So how do you design security by design principles, right? You need to follow basic principles on how you make your application secure, right? When you develop an application, coders amongst you will be able to relate, but others also can visualize and understand. Say you are developing a application for a food aggregator. I'll use the same analogy for ease of understanding. So you must keep in mind the basic principles of security by design, so that by default these principles are incorporated. It is not a add-on or an afterthought, right? And you do have the process called security in SDLC or secure SDLC. We all know the SDLC, right? Software development lifecycle. It could be the traditional waterfall model or the agile, whichever methodology you use. You need to bake in security in that, right? So how do you do it? In the last few years, the DevSecOps has come in a big way. I'm sure you must have heard about DevOps, right? So today we have security in between. So what you see here in all these red boxes, red border boxes are all the security touch points, right? So all of this have to be baked in. That means your developer community, all your developers, coders have to be trained in security aspects of SDLC, right? You have specialist training organizations that can come and help your team to understand the security aspects. We must have heard about OWASP, right? OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. Today, OWASP has got vulnerabilities not just for the applications, even for mobile, even for LLMs, right? So you can take advantage of them and try to bake in security aspects. So this is another view. All the security touch point, including secure coding, secure code review, DAST, SAST, everything, threat modeling. Right from threat modeling, everything has to come in place and ends with security testing, pen testing, and vulnerability scanning before they get a sign off from the security team for release. You guys are with me? So far, so good. So that's the AppSec part. Now comes your enterprise risk management. At the core of any business is any sort of risks. Risks are omnipresent, right? Any organization. So how do you manage the risks? You should have a risk management team that will proactively assess the risks and help with remediation. The remediation will have to be done by the asset owner, right? By the data owner or the application owner or the infra owner, not by the assessment team. Assessor themselves cannot remediate, right? Assessor is only checking state of affairs as on today and giving you a report, but the asset owner has to remediate within the agreed upon timelines, right? So this is a continuous process, how you go about managing your risks, right? And you have concepts called risk appetite, how much risk your organization can take. Suppose you're a very large multinational bank like say Citibank, and you have a loss due to fraudulent transaction 10 crore rupees. Of course it's a loss, no denying about it, but if they can still survive and go on, they can write off and go on, take remediation measures to avoid such incidents. But if you're a small cooperative bank, rural bank, you cannot afford a 10 crore loss, right? A 10 crore loss, you will be down. So you should define to what extent your risks appetite is. Accordingly, you should put in your controls, security controls, right? And then comes your concept. Before we move on, risk response is another area. Okay, while the risk assessor will submit a risk assessment report, now how do you respond to the risk? I'll give you a simple acronym. We call it as ATMA, ATMA. One is risk avoidance, avoidance A. Then how do you transfer the risk? That means you take insurance, right? For say fire safety, we take fire insurance. Like that, for ransomware attacks or DDoS attacks or any sort of downtime due to cyber attacks, you can go for a cyber insurance, right? That is risk transfer. Then you take mitigation, that is remediation, right? For mitigation, you need to spend time, effort, and money in fixing the risk, that through controls. And finally, the other A is acceptance. Okay, I'll live with the risk, right? But many organizations in reality, they go for the last day, I will accept. I don't have money, I don't have the resources, I'll go with accepting the risk. That's a wrong thing, right? So first is ATMA, avoidance, transfer, mitigation, and acceptance. Avoidance is you avoid going through that route. When you're trying to evaluate a third-party product, when you evaluate your evaluators, your security assessors are telling that application is okay, but the support is bad from the vendor. And whenever there is a problem or any updates, they're not helping us. So functionality-wise, the application is great, but security-wise, it's bad. A lot of buggy, lot of bugs are there. It's very risky. So you avoid signing up that vendor. You go to a different, better vendor who is much more secure. That is an example for avoidance. So risk response is very important. It is one thing you generate the report. The other thing is what you do with the report, right? So that's important. Now you heard about VAPT. I don't want to get into it very detailed, but very importantly, today we are in the era of continuous monitoring. Earlier, companies used to do annual exercise or a half-yearly or a quarterly or at times monthly. Today, all those are gone. Today, the kind of security threats that you have, it's very dynamic, right? Every minute things are changing in cyber world. So it's very important you have a continuous monitoring. And BAS is again very much aligned to the previous topic, breach and attack simulation. See, we all work under the assumption, the CISOs work under the assumption we'll be attacked one day or another. One day there will be a data breach. So we are only trying to build that confidence and putting all the controls in place. So in case there is a breach or a major cyber attack, how quickly we can resume back to business as usual, BAU we call. Okay, business as usual scenario. So for that, you have tools called BAS tools, and that will actually tell you where you stand, where are your controls, how strong or weak it is, right? Based on which you can take actions, right? Now, another thing, excuse me, just little under the weather because of the change in the weather though. The other major threat vector is your insider threat management, right? So the threats don't come only from outside; it comes from inside as well. Insiders means our own employees. Now employees can go rogue to various reasons, right? So they have their own disgruntlement due to denied promotion. They're passed over for on-site opportunity. They didn't get a good hike, or manager was playing nasty to them, any of the reasons, or they just got bought over, right? Somebody entices them with money and say, you give me data, I will give you inputs, right? Today much more sophisticated is there are a lot of companies that masquerade themselves as market research companies, and I have received many emails like that, or even in LinkedIn inbox, stating that we are a market research company, we found your profile very impressive, we are doing our research for our client who's our, say for example, retail major. Can you give information about how you manage things at your end, right? And we'll give you $300 for per hour of meeting, online meeting. So for $300, if I'm falling for it, then there's no ethics, right? So there are very smart ways people are collecting data today, even without you realizing that you are giving away information. But in our organization setup, they also monitor insider threats through tools like data loss prevention, right? You must have heard about DLP. They also look for anomalies. Say, for example, identity access management. If you're trying to access a device, a system, or a network for which you are not authorized, then that actually red flags, and they actually come and investigate, right? So you have many controls, user entity behavior analytics, so on and so forth, right? So it's very important how you manage your own employees. So you should know them. You should do background verification, right? And you should educate and train them on a continuous basis on the best practices. What is allowed, what is not allowed, what is appropriate behavior, what is inappropriate behavior when it comes to data handling, right? And you should also monitor their activities, right? And investigate actions. So it's one thing you set up a very fancy DLP tool, but another thing important is you should also respond to the alerts. Alerts will keep coming. If you don't respond, it is not effective.
Definitely, guys.
Okay. So it's very important you review the reports and quickly take action, because if you don't take action in a timely way, it loses its importance. People will take it for granted. Clear? So the other important domain is the governance, risk, and compliance, right? So any proper large program requires capabilities across these domains, right? Strategy, technology, governance, or adoption. So even in your own digital forensics, if you're trying to implement your forensics practice for a large bank, for example, you should have a strategy, you should have the right technology tools, right? The stack should be there, should have governance, how you manage it, and finally how it is adopted in the organization, right? So these principles are important. You look at this big picture slide, you have multiple security programs running simultaneously in a large organizations, right? So each of them work in silos. The AppSec guy will not talk to the SOC guy will not talk to the forensics guy. Forensics will not have any clue about what is going on in governance, risk, and compliance. So that's the scenario. So how do you manage all of them and give a 360-degree view to the management and ensure there is adequate coordination between each of them, right? So that is only through a team called the governance, risk, and compliance, right? So the GRC team actually works like a apex of everyone. They are one step. You want to become a CISO, a shortcut is you get on to GRC team, you gain multiple skills very quickly, and then it's a shortcut to become a CISO, right? You become an all-rounder. You have your finger in every pie, right? Because you are the ones who are actually the eyes and ears of the senior management, the steering committee, and you know where the risks are because you perform the risk management activities, you perform the governance activities, and you also perform the compliance related activities. Clear? So GRC, without GRC, cybersecurity is a hobby. So at the end of the day, we are all techies at heart. You may love best of the security tools, right? Forensics tools. If you get the money, you will love to play around with them, buy and play, right? And whereas companies don't look at it that way, right? Because they have very limited resources to spend, and they may be very excited about buying a tool and say that tool is going to be a game changer for us, but that enthusiasm is not shared by the company because they have different goals and different views, and you have to align with the company's objectives, right? So imagine if you are driving a car, right? You give a car to somebody and ask them to drive all day without any GPS, right, or any map, and no destination you are giving. And what happens is in this scenario, the fuel gets burned and tires wear down, and driver becomes increasingly tired, right? And moreover, there is a risk that the driver may not be able to come back to a point where it becomes a challenge, right? They went too far and they are not able to come. So driver lacks a map, and there is no purpose for the journey, and this is only about driving and enjoying the car. That is not going to take you anywhere. Now, how do I map these two? It's a good analogy, right? So the car represents an organization security program. The driver is nothing but the SME, subject matter experts, cybersecurity experts, and the tires and fuel represent the resources that are very hard to combine, right? So GRC gives the direction and to optimize your security program, right? So keep in mind why GRC is very important, because they play the connecting role of all the siloed organizations within security. Clear? So it's another story if GRC program is not properly run. Just for fun, I put this picture. In real life, fatalities have happened. I think last month also we saw how unfortunately few people died because they followed the GPS, Google Maps blindly, and the car actually fell off a bridge somewhere in UP, I believe. Right? That's a very sad thing. The point is, if GRC program is not properly done, this is what happens. You end up in the wrong place. Okay. So very quickly, I'm skipping this. Must have heard about 3 lines of defense. That's a best practice, how security is organized. So at the top, you have the board, which is accountable. If security program fails, there is a data breach or a security incident, the stakeholders, external stakeholders, like the law enforcement or legal requirements, like your state statutory regulators, they come and question the board of directors, not the CISO. Keep in mind, CISO is like you and me, paid executive, because they have leadership skills and security proficiency at that level, that expertise. They are sitting in as a CISO. But in the eyes of law, it's a board of directors that is accountable for security program, right? So the tone at the top is very important. How the board actually views security. Board discussion or board agenda should have security as a key agenda item, right? Then you have the steering committee. That is, any different companies call it different way, executive committee or steering council, whatever. In the first line of defense is your business units, right? The second line is your group risk management functions, and the third line is your internal and external audit, right? So how we view is each of them act as a safety net. If business units are not properly implementing security controls, then the group risk management will actually fill in and advise them how to go about. They are more of giving directions and guidance. If second line also not doing their job, then the internal audit and the external audit will actually point out what is wrong or lacking with security program. Got it? So in effect, this slide is just gives a different orientation, the same stuff. Who are the risk owners are the business units. Imagine you are working for a bank. In a bank, you have multiple departments. You will have loans department, deposits, credit cards, right, insurance and stuff. So each department needs to implement its own security controls depending on the security risk scenario facing their business unit. So they are the risk owners because they own the data, they own the assets, they own the infrastructure, right? So they are the risk owners. Now, who defines and advises on the risk controls are the subject matter experts. That is the second line, which comprises your risk management function, that is effectively your CISO, right? CISO. Now, they are the ones who will guide them how you want. Okay, you are worried about data leakage. We'll advise you to go for a DLP tool. And DLP tool, this is the vendors. Please go, talk, negotiate, deploy it. You want assistance in how to go about deployment, we'll tell you, we'll advise you. So that's more of an advisory and guidance role by the second line made up of CISO. So who provides the assurance, risk assurance to the steering committee, management, and the board and rest of the world is your risk, the third line, that is your auditors, both internal and external auditors, right? Another analogy, if you are buying a bike and a car or a car for your daily commute to your college, right? You have to pour petrol, give the fuel, and take it for servicing. You cannot ask your parents to pay for it, right? So, risk owner, you are the asset owner. You own the two-wheeler or the four-wheeler. So, you have to pay for all the controls that you have. You are responsible for driving it safely, right? And in case you meet with, I will give up more positive. Suppose you get challan for parking and no parking, you cannot ask your parents to pay for it, right? So the parents will tell you what are the best practice. Don't do this, don't do this, do this, do this, right? So the risk asset owner is you. You got it? That's the analogy I can give you. Got it? And you do have policies and standards, which again comes under the purview of the GRC team. They own the governance aspect of the entire security documentation made up of policies, procedures, standards, baselines, guidelines. Each of them is different. It is not one and the same. It's very minute differences, but very critical differences. And there are different elements for success to make a GRC program successful. So these are the elements. I'm saving you from the details, but anyway, this slide deck will be available for you guys to review. So quickly, cyber threat intelligence is very important. You can sign up with vendors who for a fee they'll give you the inputs, or you can take it from OSINT, open source intelligence. This is very much aligned with your SOC team, right? And you do have awareness, training, and education. What's the whole point? You have a whole bunch of security policies. We expect everyone to follow, but nobody is there to give awareness. Unless you tell the rules of the game, how can you hold the players responsible if there is a foul or if they violate the policy requirements, right? So it's very important the people understand what is there in the policy, and then they have to follow. So you have to have adequate awareness sessions. So there's a difference between these terms: awareness, training, and education. Awareness is just saying what. If you receive an email from unsolicited people and the email contains sense of urgency, and they ask you to click a link or download a PPT or a PDF or any attachment, don't do it. It could be a phishing email. That is a what aspect. How aspect is I send you for a training for 3 days with NCASE or digital forensics upskilling. End of the third day, I want you to become masters, if not experts. I want you to have some skills in handling the tool. You're getting a skill. That is training. Education is you understand the why aspect. So you work in corporate for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and every time there is a security advisory or alert that comes to your inbox, to all your team members, and somebody comes and asks why I'm getting this, you would can easily explain. See, that is for best practice. They are trying to send awareness. That's why you understand the aspect of why they are sending emails to you. Got it? Now, quickly, the SOC. SOC is your Security Operations Center, the nerve center of your IT infra. So you do have the old traditional SOC now because of advancement in SIEM technology, security incident and event management. You have modern SOC. Today we are talking about AI SOC, where AI tools are actually triaging and taking quick remediation efforts. You don't have a human agent to actually look into it, but SOC is a very hands-on work. You do have L1, L2, L3 analysts and the SOC manager managing the entire SOC activities. You do have incident response, which is very much part of SOC. So today incidents are very common, right? You cannot say my organization is immune. So when an incident happens, you should know what kind of response, how do you handle it. All of that you need to be trained and have playbooks for different scenarios: virus attack, malware attack, ransomware attack, DDoS attack, network outage, right? For all of this, you need to have playbooks and train your staff, your SOC staff involved in incident response, so that when there is a real incident, you would not be panicking, right? You would know what to do, right? Then this is your subject. I'm skipping this. Forensics again, it's evolved into multiple areas. It is not the traditional IT forensics anymore. It's gone into cloud forensics, mobile forensics, and so forth, right? Then underrated aspect is your shadow IT, right? So people without involving security team, procurement team, legal team, IT team, because they are powerful in the organization, they just go and download tools or deploy tools and manage run it for their business purpose. That's very risky because you are violating privacy laws. You may violate copyright issues, copyright requirements, right? You may not have security controls, right? And they are not. You're also putting the compliance risk by deploying tools which you are not authorized to use, right? So shadow IT is very common today. The other thing is cyber insurance. Not many companies are aware, right? So how do you manage cyber insurance? How you can leverage it for safeguarding your threat scenario, and supply chain risk management. Hello. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, go ahead. Hello. So you do have security chain risk management.
Hello. So can I request you
I'm not able to hear you. Hello. Yeah, tell me. Okay. Then other aspect of the security culture. Can you guys go on mute? I can hear the echo again. Hello. Can you guys go on mute? Can the admin make everyone mute so that we don't hear the echo? Good. So the security culture is like the background music in a movie. You don't pay attention, but actually that actually has a lot of impact on how your company employees behave when it comes to security. Are you open or are you vindictive? Do you take action proactively, or are you open to new ideas, or do you recognize people for security exemplary behavior, or do you go and target people for unduly for just because they report incidents, right? How do you handle security issues, right, involving people? So all of that comes there. Then your physical security is very important in a very matured, progressive organization. Physical security is part of cybersecurity. In fact, physical security reports into cybersecurity, right? And then you do have your career development, because you cannot work in security without developing and keeping yourself up to date, right? So how do you build your expertise? How do you learn? What kind of industry reach out you have? How do you create an identity and leverage your expertise or your identity? All of it is very important. Now, finally, your security architecture. You do have different aspects in architecture and engineering. One is your identity access management. Imagine a large organization which has 1 lakh employees, how they manage their identity and the access, right? So these are all the finer aspects in our IAM program. So all of this needs deep expertise. They need to build the skills. So as I said, each of these multicolored, color-coded area can actually spawn a different career in itself, right? You do have the concept of zero trust security, where you never trust but always verify. That's a principle, and it takes a lot of time to build a fully zero trust enabled security architecture. It is not just buying a couple of tools and deploying, right? It's a long process. And today we have cloud security. Cloud adoption is very high. It brings in its wake its own security risks. So you do have all these aspects that need to be taken care. And today we are in the era of defense in depth, right? You have multiple layers in security. So each layer will actually protect one aspect. So this is again another representation of defense in depth. And you must have seen this picture elsewhere, right? So today it has become like this. Today defense in depth. Don't worry about the 3-letter, 4-letter acronyms, but you can always Google and learn about them. But point is, cybersecurity is one of the very few industries I've seen where there are 4,000 different technologies and 70,000 vendors. Right? It's a very live and rocking industry, and that makes all the more vibrant. And security controls is just a snapshot of how you define secure systems. And for any security control, you can actually leverage this 18 CIS cyber, critical security control. The latest version is 8.1 that talks about these 18 controls, which is basics, right? And for any security vendor product, you can always leverage on CIS benchmark list. They have majorly 25 plus vendor product families, and you can actually look at different aspects available in their website, download the documents, and it has a very ready to use checklist, right? So even for Apple MacBook, what are the security controls required for hardening? You can just leverage this site, okay? And this is a big picture orientation on the defense in depth, how different aspects of security fit in. So if you have the overall idea, you will get a better perspective of how to manage security, what goes on behind different teams, right? When you join an organization as a forensics analyst, you should have to appreciate the big picture orientation of what goes on in different aspects, right? So when it comes to standards frameworks, you do have multiple. We already spoke about them. Industry specific standards, it's a requirement you have to fulfill. And the CISO is a person who's a kingpin who runs security, and they will have a complete view of all aspects of security. Though they may not be experts, they may not be necessarily a forensics expert, but they will know how to manage a forensics practice and deliver what is required. Yeah. So this is a mind map again from a vendor on CISO map to your NIST framework, right? Govern, identify, protect, detect and respond, recover. So on all these aspects, another view of this, right? And culture is very important, as I said. If your culture is rotten, it's very difficult. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. It's a very popular saying. You may have the best of security strategy. If senior management is not aligned, they are in a different zone. You may come as a well-meaning technology professional, but the culture is rotten. You can't do anything about it, right? Very quickly, AI brought its own way of risks today. You must have heard about these risks, right? And you do have risk models. How do you manage different, what are the security best practices to handle them? I already referred to OAS top 10. And you do have from the NIST of organization, you have the risk management framework, and you do have Atlas, right? MITRE Atlas. MITRE has got a very good repository for all the tactics, techniques, and procedures, the TTPs. So you can actually leverage that. And each of these big four audit firms also have a responsible AI framework. Though responsible AI talks about the ethics and how you responsibly develop and deploy AI, security, privacy, safety, these are all the touch points for us, right? And governments are also concerned. EU already has got a EU AI Act. India also is planning one. That's what the government is saying. To conclude, security is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So hang in there for the long haul. And yet security is a continuous product process. It's not a product, right? It's a ongoing thing. And threats keep evolving with the change in technology and times. So it's very critical to know them and take steps proactively to mitigate them. And security controls, for every control you are defining, it needs cost, time, effort, and money, right? And well funded, are they well resourced, are you well balanced? These are all key questions that you should be able to answer. Now, your security program needs to be agile and dynamic to mitigate the threats and risks. You cannot say this is a roadmap that we defined in 2023 December or 2024. We will not deviate from it. It's going to be very risky if you have that stand, right? With the latest evolving threat, you should be having the budget and capability to proactively handle them. And security should support the business. We are all there to support the business, not the other way around. You have to be aligned with the business goals. That's very important. Don't ignore the people aspect. And compliance doesn't mean necessarily you are secure. Company may say I am ISO certified, I'm certified under this industry standard, but it doesn't equal that they are actually secure, right? Got it? So with that, I end my talk, and I invite you all to connect with me in LinkedIn, and then let's stay connected. And again, thanks to Swapnil and his team for bringing me here, having me here on Saturday morning. I hope this session was useful. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer now or even later. Okay.
The meeting is now open to the question answer session. Kindly put the question in the chat box or raise your hands to unmute yourself to ask question.
I hope the session was useful. Any feedback?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
It was a wonderful session, very insightful.
Thank you.
I'm currently in BTech. Cybersecurity is my domain. So I would like to ask you one question. What do you think would be the most, uh, what to say, the cybersecurity trend which will dominate the industry in the next 5 years?
AI, you're onto AI, and if you want a little more push beyond AI, leverage quantum computing. These two are going to be the game changers in the coming years, right? And expertise you will build only over a period of time. So don't think you do one Udemy course or something, you will become a master. They're all small things, but do apart from upskilling gives you a window to that domain knowledge. The skills are very important. Certification is important. At the same time, build the practical skills by working in projects, get some internship, or wherever you join, work on the relevant domain. That way you build the skills. So AI is again a big game changer. Better than that, or bigger than that, could be the quantum computing. Okay, did that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. This is
Yeah,
Pratap.
yeah, tell me.
So myself, like I'm currently work as a store engineer.
Okay.
So I'm already on the domain. So I have around 7 years of experience. So one, I want your
Mm-hmm.
take on like the store is, I mean, newly emerging. So many companies already adapted it. So how it's gonna be? Like, what's the future of store like in the moving years?
See, SOAR will be very much required for the SOC, right? It's already part of it. AI-powered SOAR solutions will become the norm. A lot of what you do currently, mundane tasks which require sort of manual effort will be automated in the latest SOAR platform. But having said that, SOAR is a good place to start, but bad place to stay. So you want to grow in your career, you learn SOAR, learn the skills, be hands-on. But beyond that, you need to build your expertise and move on. So SOAR is going to stay. Only thing, it will evolve with the times, with the latest AI capabilities.
Yeah,
Right?
that was like, yeah, I got that. Thank you very much, sir. And like the session was really insightful. So it
Thank
was
you.
like with the available time, like you have given like whatever, I mean, thoughts. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
good
It was tough
actually.
to cover in 45, 50 minutes all the
Yeah,
areas.
yeah, I
It was,
understand. Like everything, all domain and everything is like deep, everything.
thank
But with
you.
time,
Thank
like you
you.
still made it like to
Yeah,
understand. Yeah,
yeah.
thank you.
Anyway,
Good afternoon.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Jimjim Pandey. I'm currently second year of forensic science student. Sir, actually, I need I want to make my career at the cyber security. So, please give me some suggestion.
You're already in forensics. You are training yourself to be a forensics professional. So you can very well leverage your existing skill set, right? Whatever you're learning, by launching yourself in the forensics domain. Beyond that, you can get into cloud or into SOC as per your liking, your preferences. These two areas easily you can get a foothold, right? When compared to the other domains. If you are a developer, then you can look at if you have very good in developing applications, good programming knowledge, you can get into AppSec. But very easily you can get into cloud or into SOC, right? Very easy. A lot of opportunities are available.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Yeah, I think I got couple of questions. One is I'm just checking the chat window. It's from Manami Sarkar asking, how can business strike the right balance between adopting cutting edge security technologies such as AI and machine learning and maintaining robust human oversight to prevent threats effectively. That's what the industry is grappling today. A lot of it depends on the vision of the security leadership, right? It is not just the CISO alone, but also the support he or she receives from the senior management. And most of the places, they don't have that vision that it has to be a well balanced program with cutting edge tools and the human oversight. Today, because of the recessionary pressures, security program is being curtailed down, right? And security is made to report to the IT function, which is not a right thing to do. Security is an independent function. When you make them report to the CIO, it is going to have its own repercussions. So that's a big problem due to the ongoing recession. Many companies are firing the CISO and handing over the security team ownership and responsibilities to the CIO. So in this kind of current scenario, I'm not very optimistic how security would be optimized, right, in today's scenario. There's one more question. Somebody, yeah, Aishwarya Jain is asking, with the increasing adoption of Digital India initiative, cyber threats have also grown. Why has India has become a target for cyber attacks in recent years, and we are lagging in any specific areas of defense? Yeah, see, where there is money, where there is information, hackers are going to, and where there is poor awareness. Tell me, we all use different apps for UPI transactions, right? But it's very impersonal. Suppose you make a transaction to the wrong number, even it could be little money as 1,000 rupees, you send to a wrong account number. You know how much difficult it is to get back. It is not easy, right? So think of people like you and me who are much more cyber savvy. We know how to handle, right? Think of millions of people who are not tech savvy. They don't know how to use technology, and those people are actually exploited. You must have heard about digital arrest and the virtual arrest. Very well educated doctors, lawyers, and people who are not tech savvy, they fall victims to it, right? So can you guys educate your people in your circle, among your relatives, among your contacts, your friends, that there is no concept called digital arrest. Nobody can threaten you. They saying that I'm calling from customs department or police department or enforcement directorate or CBI. Because I also received a call recently stating that I had sent a, it came from DHL. The moment they said I calling from DHL couriers, and I don't have any contact with them. I never sent any courier. I just played along. That person immediately, his tone changes. He's trying to threaten me, stating, "You sent a courier to Iran, and Iran is a sanctioned country. From you cannot send courier to Iran." I was laughing, right? So you should be very careful about this. So as long as people are not aware and a lot of money is involved, these kind of crimes will keep happening. Government is also, central government and different state governments are taking many measures, but our population is huge. The target population is very huge, right? So people will always fall victims. So you should be people should be aware, and you should not fall for such crimes, right? Anybody threatening them, they should, nobody should threaten. I mean, if somebody is threatening, you should not fall for it. That's a simple funda. And there are certain things too good to be true, you should not fall for it. All the phishing scams and stuff, right? Yeah. Any more questions?
Yes, there was one more question. People are asking about the eligibility of BSc and MSc forensic graduates, as many firms and even government organizations, they want BTech and computer engineering students with backgrounds of engineering. So what will be
Take,
the future of forensic
take,
insight?
take my example. I don't have a BE BTech. I came from a BCom background. I did my BCom, I did my MCA. MCA is equivalent to their MS degree or MSc degree. So only thing is you go where you are valued. Why you are knocking at a door which refuses to open? If a company is looking clearly for BE BTech, don't go and get disappointed. Don't try applying there and they reject you. So it's a risk avoidance. Use the same risk avoidance strategy. Avoid such companies. The world is very wide. You can join. There are hundreds of companies which would value you for your skills. So if you're strong in your core area, your degrees don't matter. Your degree is very important when you launch your career, right? It's a very strong foundation. You are a postgraduate, you have mastered a particular specialization, say forensics. But after 5 years, 10 years, tell me how much your degree is valued, right? Because the syllabus changes, the technology changes. Tell me the MCA that I did in 2003, is it valid today? No, it's a MCA, that's it. But the syllabus, everything has changed. Think of your aunts and uncle who completed their BE BTech way back in 1992, 93. Is it still valid, the syllabus? But BTech as a degree has its own value. Like that, your MS degree has its own value. Your MSc in forensics has its own value. So my point is, don't worry about companies which are not looking at you. Which don't want people with only MSc degree, not BTech. Avoid them. Why are you crying? Why are you worrying about it? Simple, right?
Sir, may I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
So, good afternoon. My name is Fatima, and my question is, could you please guide me on the best approach to find a job as a fresher in cybersecurity? Because I recently completed my master's in cybersecurity, and I've also done two remote internships and one on-site internship based in cybersecurity only. But when sorry, sir.
Yeah, I'm just listening.
And likewise, that you have said earlier, when I try to apply for the jobs, they're asking for the engineering graduates. Most of the companies are asking for engineering graduates. So I thought taking a master's, like normal master's, was a bad decision. So I need
Mm, no
like
regret. See, you're done. You're done. You're done your masters. You spent 2 years. A lot of time, effort, money has gone. No point in regretting now. You should be proud of your achievement. Just because the world wants you to walk upside down doesn't mean you should be upset about it. Right? Simple. I'm giving a very crappy example though. My point is, be proud of your accomplishments. Right? Nobody can make you feel small because you do not have a BE or a BTech degree. My point is, you want to get a job. Few strategies you need to adopt. One is uh, the jobs that you are applying, please tailor make your CV, customize your CV for every job you apply. You may have A, B, C, D, E different kinds of skill set. But if the company is only asking for ABC skills, please highlight only your ABC skills. Don't put all the six. You may have six different skills, but company is only asking for the first three skill set. That way, if you highlight only the top three skill sets, your matching rate will be high, your hit rate will be very high, right? And today all these companies, when you apply online, it can go through a ATS system, right? Applicant tracking system, through Talio or Workday, whatever platform. So your CV should be ATS ready, have the right keywords, have the right industry terminologies, and have it all neat and very easy to read. Don't have those visual CVs with all those uh, flowery stuff, right? Simple text-based word CV is enough. Don't make those fancy visual CVs. They may look great on PDF or when you take a printout, but when it goes through ATS, you have to have a CV that is readable, mission readable. So have it that way. One is that. Second, CV should not go more than 2 pages. As a fresher, ideally 1 page, but you have more internships and want to showcase your skills, you can go up to maximum of 2 pages, not more than that. Ideally, 1 page is enough, but 2 pages is okay if you have something extra. Third thing, get active in the industry circuit. Please join any industry WhatsApp groups or Telegram groups, solid ones, not the crappy ones, and be part of the circle and attend events, conferences. That way, you widen your network. You never know who you meet next could actually refer you for a job. If you sit in one place and think world should give you a job because you did your MSc, it's not going to happen. Get active in the industry circuit. Go and sign up with the local chapters of ISACA, ISACA, or ISC Square, okay, or Nalcon, Vulcon, OAS, B-Sides, anything. Any of these industry groups, please go and join them. Get their online membership. Some of them give you free membership. Go and attend their events. Volunteer with them. Do volunteer service. If they're organizing a monthly meetup, go and say, I will help you. The connections you make will be very helpful, and everyone will give you a lot of insights to learn. And you connect with senior people, that will be very valuable, right? Instead of reading 100 books, you have conversation with a very valuable, knowledgeable person for 1 hour. It will be much more worthwhile. I'm not telling reading books is bad. What I'm telling you is, I hope you get my point, right? And they'll also give you ideas how to get a job, or they could refer you to a job. So get active in the industry circuit. Third, finally, most importantly, as I said before, customize your CV in every for every job. Don't have one size fits all CV. And fifth thing is, if you don't have practical skills, do internship, virtual internship. Better is offline internship. So find places where they value you and help you with getting you that experience, that skill set, and do some relevant certification, the entry level certifications, because you have to stand out from the crowd, right? You cannot say I got a MS degree, so that is enough. MS like you, there are hundreds of people who have the same MSc degree. So what is that differentiates you from the other person? Do some entry level certificate. You have to invest in yourself. You cannot say, I did my graduation, I'll never open a book again, right? Because cybersecurity is a very dynamic world, dynamic domain. You have to keep upskilling. So every day you have to have some passive learning. Be part of WhatsApp groups where they share knowledge, peer sharing groups where you learn stuff, to learn some blogs. If somebody in the industry is talking to you, even for 5 minutes, you should be able to have a meaningful conversation on what is going on any security related topic, latest trends, what is the future trends in cybersecurity, or what are the major cyber incidents, right? Or any development, you should, that means you should be reading a lot of security blogs, right? So that way you will come across as a well-read person, very smart person. Degree is fine, but beyond degree, you should do all this skill development, have a ATS ready CV, customized CV, connect with industry peers, get active in the industry events, volunteer, get internship, right? There are 6, 7 things you should do. Just because you have a CV and send to everyone, people will not give you a job, because it's a competitive world and nobody has the time even to read your CV. Unless you have these ATS ready and with all these keywords, then only it even hits the recruiter. The human recruiter will be able to read, and they spend hardly 7, 8 seconds to see a CV. The CV doesn't impress, they just move on to the next CV, right? So be ready for all of this and prepare yourself very well. Okay, and be mobile. Don't say I'm from a small town. Say, for example, I'm from Indore or Kanpur, I will not go out. If you are saying having such restrictions, your ability will be a problem. So be mobile. Your mobility is very important. The more mobile you are, tomorrow they are giving an opportunity in Mumbai or Delhi or Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai, you should be ready to come. If you say my hometown is in Patna or in Indore or somewhere in Madurai, it is not going to help you. Hometown is fine, but if you want a career, you should be mobile. Don't have such restrictions and those close-minded, conservative mindset. You want a job, you have to move to a big city, right? So more mobile you are, the more opportunities will come your way. If you have restrictions, that I will not work in night shift, I will not work in US shift, I will work only for large multinational, I will not work in, I mean, I want a job in my hometown. All these kind of conditions you put, every condition will restrict you. Don't have any conditions, be open minded, you will get opportunities. Agree with me? Yep. Cool. Then I think we are over the time, and happy to see you all. We'll
So,
connect.
can you take one more question?
Yeah, one final question before we leave.
Thank you for that. As you said before, what should be the certification and training programs you would recommend as a cyber security professional?
See, you are in forensics. Do something in forensics which you're not learned in your curriculum in your MSc degree. Suppose there is I'm not an expert in forensics. I don't have a
Sorry
clue.
to interrupt.
Yeah.
I'm currently in first year BTech, NFSU, National Forensic Sciences University. Uh,
Okay.
yes. So, would you would like to answer my question from that perspective?
Okay,
So,
okay.
what should be
You can do easily two things. One is a free certification from ISC2. You can Google for certified in cybersecurity. It's a free course, training come certification. You don't have to spend a dime. Maximum 45 days, 1 month or 1.5 months, you can clear. It's a free certification. It will give you a basics of cybersecurity. You will get a lot of confidence. Second, you can do from Cisco Networking Academy. Again, a free certification on network, right? IT network. That is also free. Third, you plan for CEH. It's from Easy Council, Certified Ethical Hacker. Google for it. It's very easy to clear. It's an entry level certification. You have to spend money though on training. If you can train on your own good. If you're not good at it, then you can do some online course or something. Form a study group of like-minded people or join a study group of like-minded CEH aspirants that will help you in your journey. You can do CEH. So these 2, 3 certifications, if you have during your graduation days itself, by the time you are in your final year, you will evolve more beyond your bookish curriculum, right? Your own university curriculum. You will have much better skill sets, and that will make you stand out in the crowd. Got it?
Oh, yes, sir. Lovely, sir. Thank you. I would like to have more sessions like this. It was very
Sure, my
insightful.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Then
We have
I'll
further
look.
questions. You can contact sir through his LinkedIn profile as well.
Thank you guys for the lovely audience you guys are. See you then. Bye bye.
Sir, just 2 more minutes
Yeah, for me or I can leave.
for you as well, sir. Yes.
Okay, I'll leave now.
Just 2 more minutes, sir, and then we can conclude with the session.
Okay.
As we are towards the end of the session, it's my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Ram Kumar ji, for sharing his invaluable expertise and enlightening us with actionable cybersecurity best practices. I request Neha to present the token of appreciation on behalf of Why Crime and Forensic Fusion. So please accept this token of appreciation as a gesture of gratitude for your invaluable contribution.
Thank you so much. Very beautifully done. I like the format. Very nice. I got a class. Very nice. Nicely done. Thank you. Well, somebody with a lot of aesthetic sense has designed it. Thanks to that person. Thank you. Looks
So your
great.
deep insights into critical areas like information security, data privacy, and corporate security have not only broadened our understanding, but have also equipped us with practical tools to navigate today's complex cybersecurity landscape. From discussing importance of proactive risk management to emphasizing the integration of robust security frameworks, every aspect of your talk resonated with relevance and urgency.
Awesome.
Your
Thank
ability
you.
to distill complex concepts into actionable steps, coupled with your passion for fostering a culture of security awareness, has left a lasting impression on all of us. We are particularly inspired by your emphasis on continuous learning, resilience, and the strategic role cybersecurity plays in shaping sustainable business practices. On behalf of everyone present, I express our deepest gratitude for taking the time to share your knowledge and for making this session so engaging and impactful. Your contributions today have undoubtedly sparked new ideas and will guide us in implementing stronger cybersecurity measures in our personal and professional lives. Thank you once again, sir, for your generosity in sharing your time and wisdom. We look forward to staying connected and learning more from you from your vast reservoir experience in future. Thank you once again, everyone, and have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Ashita. See you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you.